And it's 7:03. As folks straggle in, we'll let them in and just keep going. Thank you all for showing up for the 2025 annual meeting for Blue Heron Headwaters Conservancy. The voice just over the screen is your executive director, Jason Meekoff, and we will start going. Tonight's general layout of the evening will be a welcome, followed by a review of 2024, the awarding of the Tom Bolin Award, the 2024 income and expenses. We'll move on to some plans for 2025, and then a statement from me, the executive director, and then an open time for questions and answers. Meeting will be roughly an hour. Please stay muted until the end of the presentation, and the chat box will be monitored by Mary and Dana, just making sure what's going on. If people have questions, they can put it in there, and those will get answered. If you need assistance for some reason, please call Mary. Phone number is in the corner of this screen. And now, without further ado, our illustrious leader and brand new board chair, Mike Metz.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Jason, and thanks everyone very much for joining our annual meeting. I'm Mike Metz, the new president of the board of Blue Heron, and was recently elected to replace Emily Duthan. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Emily for the substantial time that she served as president of the board and for her long and continuing contributions to Blue Heron on the board and as a volunteer, which should continue. I'd also like to thank our executive director, Jason, and the rest of the board for the confidence that they've placed in me to fill this role and help usher in a new era for Blue Heron. Just a short bit on my background. I joined Blue Heron in 2018. I was originally a real estate attorney at a firm in Detroit and subsequently practiced in-house since 2002 for a couple of different corporations. I was introduced to Blue Heron through my son's Eagle Scout project at the Bridge Valley Fen and got to know Sue and the organization through that process, which was a wonderful experience. I've been a Clarkston resident since 2013 for the second time, and thought that my love of the land and real estate skills might be of use to the organization, and I've been really happy to have joined since. So we're really excited for the future here at Blue Heron. This is the first time that we've had a full-time paid executive director in a very long time. We were thrilled to find Jason during our search to replace Sue, who retired from the role after such a long and wonderful tenure. And Jason's already in 8 months helped stabilize the ship, and the board and the staff are very happy with his leadership. And I view part of my role to help make a transition from what has been a sort of heavy board leadership to professional executive leadership with board support, which is the way a professional organization should run. So I'm excited for 2025. So I look forward to Jason and his team explaining what we've accomplished and what we have to look forward to in the new year.
Thanks a ton, Mike. I appreciate it greatly. I'm going to share the screen once more, and we'll be off and running. So, first thing I did when I came in, I'm very connected to the mission of this organization, as you all are. Our mission is to protect the land, water, and wildlife in the headwaters region of the Clinton, Shiawassee, Huron, Flint rivers through preservation, stewardship, and education. Next to our mission, you'll see a very old, this is from, I believe, 1974, from the yearly annual report that they did. In that, it very much says they care about protecting the land, water, and wildlife in Independence Township. And while we may have grown, expanded our area, we still believe in and care for the exact same thing we did in 1974 and in the beginning of when we started this organization. I am someone who is very much on the track of, and is the whole team. We must be mission focused through and through, and that's what we'll do. So This is why everything in the office hanging above my desk and in multiple places is both this sign and the mission statement to make sure that we're always moving that way when we move into the future. So I also wanted to say thank you to our amazing staff, Anastasia, Dana, Kyle, Mary, Janet, our bookkeeper. They have been fantastic. I've been put them through a whole lot of stuff in the last 8 months, getting them into sort of the way I want things to run, and I feel like they have done yeoman's work to make sure that we are moving forward and doing a fantastic job. Thank you to the entire executive board, Mike, Emily, Mike, and Betty. They're fantastic. And the rest of the board of directors, Nicole, Jean, Susan, Larry, Laura, Todd, our brand new board member, Jeff, and Marilyn, who's there as well. So fantastic board. I've loved working with them all. This year, obviously, has been a huge year of change for the organization. As far as staff go, we added Kyle, who works 4 days a week as our land steward, traveling all over, doing tons and tons of work with lots of volunteers. Many of you here have probably pulled weeds and burnt brush piles and cut down things with him. He's a workhorse and he does a fantastic job. I obviously started this year. I started in June. And welcome to Jeffrey Schiffman, who is our brand new board member at the beginning of the year. So my sort of the organization for the last year obviously has been big change and flux, and sort of we've really been focusing on streamlining and building a foundation for the future. Internally, we have worked a lot to define our roles and responsibilities for everybody that's on staff. We've also worked to hone our communication style and cadence so you all can know what our story is and we can tell you our story about what's going on within the community. I'm sure you have noticed a lot more social media posts, a lot more emails about what we're doing, a lot of volunteer emails going out, and of course, some fundraising emails as well. If you've not yet, please sign up for our MailChimp. If Anastasia, if you could drop the MailChimp sign up link in the chat so folks can sign up for it if they have not yet. You can get our monthly nature news as well as lots of emails about what's going on the ground with the organization. I also wanted to say congratulations to all of you folks. The last year we did a lot of work and we did a lot of things. And the reason I brought this up is this is Giving Tuesday. You folks really went to bat for this organization on Giving Tuesday. We reached a epic high for this organization we've never reached before. We did over $10,000. We met a match of another $10,000. And we had more than double, we had almost double last year's total number of donors. So lots and lots of people donated to our organization on Giving Tuesday to help put us on firm financial footing moving into the future. And I just wanted to say thank you all, and from everybody on staff for all of you. So next we will get to all of the things we did this year. Land acquisition. Folks put together a wonderful report for me for the year. So I just wanted to hit some highlights. First thing I wanted to thank was Tom Hall Jr. and the Hall Hill Legacy Fund and that family. We worked together to build a permanent restricted gift of a rather substantial amount that can, for perpetuity, work at actually doing the stewardship work at Hall Hill so we can make sure that it's there and in fine quality moving into the future. We've actually moved pretty close on two brand new acquisitions this year. One that abuts Camp Wathena in Rose Township. I try to leave these names off because some people may want them to be anonymous. We'll learn more of that as we go in the future. But that's 62 acres. It's in Rose Township. It abuts Camp Withena, which we also have a conservation easement on it. So we'll come into fruition there a very large chunk of contiguous property. We also have 5 acres that we're nearing completion on a conservation easement. It's a little smaller than we would normally work, but it is a highly important and really high quality wetland area around a Duck Creek, which is a actually was formerly a trout stream in this area. Could probably have trout again, may, depending on if the DNR wanted to plant it, that sort of thing. So that is moving close. Both of those may actually be completed in the first half of this year. We're looking end of quarter 1, beginning of quarter 2, roughly in that time frame for those to be completed. We also have multiple other projects we've been working on. We have a very exciting and fun project we are working with the Southeast Michigan Community Foundation, which is um, the Wilson Grant folks, the Wilson folks, working through them, and Saginaw Wind, where we have a chunk of money where we're doing preliminary engineering on a piece of property that runs along the Shiawassee River in Holly Township that'll turn into a large county park that has a lot of amenities from a passive recreation standpoint. So we're really moving a lot of that kind of work forward, and we look forward to moving more of that. So I just wanted to show this one. This is a super fun Eagle Scout project that was getting done, that got done by Cole and the troop, Boy Scout Troop 192. Did it build a bunch of snake habitat areas with hollowed out logs and some rock piles throughout the butterfly preserve to provide quality habitat for herps and other snakes in the area. We're up to a poll.
Hi everyone, I'm Anastasia and I'll be introducing the polls. We'll have 3. So if you'd like to interact and answer, you'll see a window pop up on your screen. And the first question is approximately how many hours of work did BHHC volunteers complete in 2024? And there's 4 multiple choice answers, and I think we'll give about 30 seconds to answer this one. Okay, it looks like most of the responses slowed down, so I'm gonna end the poll and share the results. Most people guessed 2,000 hours, but in reality, our volunteers completed approximately 4,000 hours of work in 2024.
Yay, volunteers. Good job, all of you. That's amazing. Community and volunteers. We got to that page. As we said, 4,173 volunteer hours this year. As a community-based organization working within the community to make the land, water, and wildlife better here is very important to us to work with the community to make that better. Working with volunteers, working with different organizations throughout the community. It's very important to be part of the community and make it better together. So I just want to say thank you all for volunteering so many hours of amazing work. It's super fantastic. Stewardship. We did a ton of work. Kyle was works 4 days a week right now. We'd like to get that a little higher. It'll take a little bit of funding, but we'll get there. But Kyle was all over. We did everything from placing boundary posts. We installed approximately 75 boundary posts this year, and a few more to go throughout all of our easements and fee-owned properties. We did tons and tons of invasive removal at all sorts of places, from Voorhees Beardsley to Bridge Valley to Hall Hill, Eaton Wet Meadow, Butterfly Preserve. We did tons and tons of invasive removals all over. I'm sure lots of folks uh, were involved in doing that. You can see lots of pictures here. We did projects with Oakland County SISMA. We did a super amazing project with the Volunteer Day with Independence and Clarkston, where we removed the dilapidated boardwalk in Kimball, where we're looking for some funding so we can update that boardwalk. We also, Kyle did a lot of work looking and remedying violations throughout. We have a lot of interesting easements that have a lot of encroachments around the edges, especially the HOA ones, such as NOR and some others that are like co-owned between the HOA and all of the owners. You get a lot of violations in those situations, and we try to work as best as we can to be good neighbors and work with our neighbors to try to remedy those. We also want to remember we did 2 plant sales. We sold thousands and thousands of plants throughout the community, helping to put high quality habitat and native plants on the landscape. And that is a fantastic thing. And that those dollars also helped go to stewardship and then fund all of the work we do at our preserves. I also wanted to put this up. I was in the office today. I wanted to make sure this was in here. So this is a giant presentation sheet of yellow paper. It's 24 by like 36. It sits over Kyle's desk, and it is literally every project that we did for the whole year. There's probably 100 different projects there that worked with volunteers, with Kyle by himself, with lots of folks like that to do all of this amazing work. We also did super great projects involving educating the public. We did seminars on how to remove invasive species. We have the living garden out in the native garden out in front of the building that shows you how you can plant these in your area. We have the plant sales. We did presentations to lots of different garden clubs all over the place. I myself did a talk in Fenton at a ladies event at a ladies club out there who wanted to have us come in and talk about both what conservancies do and how that can affect their area and how they can preserve land and help plant native species. I also was on TV. I did the Inside Independence with Joette Kuntz early on when I started here. You can also go to our YouTube channel for Blue Heron Headwaters Conservancy, and we have lots and lots of how to deal with invasive species, how to do lots of habitat work in your property, and how we conserve land together. Poll number 2.
Okay, here we go. So the second question is, which of the following projects did BHHC conduct in 2024? And there are 5 choices to choose from. And it's a little bit more reading, so I think we'll give, I don't know, maybe 45 seconds to a minute to answer.
You may need to make the window slightly larger to be able to read all of them. You can also do it by hovering over top of them.
Yes, good point. You can also scroll too over the window. Looks like the responses are slowing down, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll and share the results. And the correct answer is all of the above, which 100% of you responded correctly, so that's great. I'm gonna read them off real quick just so you know you have an idea of what we did. Hands-on academic service learning projects with hundreds of local elementary and high school students, preparing the butterfly preserve for public access by constructing a scenic overlook, installing signage, and hosting stewardship workdays, removing invasive plant species and planting native on dozens of owned properties and conservation easements, and inspecting several new properties for acquisition potential.
Thank you, Anastasia.
Yeah, totally.
And next, partners. So here's a couple of partners of many partners we worked with. We did the project with the Boy Scouts. National Wild Turkey Foundation came out with Anastasia and their regional rep and did a foraging walk on Sashabaw, teaching people about how to eat wild. We also had the Clarkston High School students came out during the Christmas break and did a bunch of work out at Kimball, removing buckthorn with Kyle. We did lots and lots of we have lots and lots of partners. Many of them you see here. One I specifically wanted to call out because he is on the call is Tom Cook of the Cook Family Foundation. We're working with them to look at how we can better preserve the Shiawassee River. Land Trust Alliance, Headwaters Trails, many different organizations within our community that we work together with to do fantastic projects, and they help our mission and we help theirs. I want to thank donors and volunteers. Like I said, it's 4,173 volunteer hours donated. It's a tremendous amount of time and treasure. So I want everybody to appreciate how important we think that is to this organization. There is Emily Duthin guiding some Girl Scouts at Sashabaw Creek. We have volunteers burning brush piles at Bridge Valley. And special thanks to Bev for the amazing Fish Lake Beaver sign. It's a fantastic sign and shows how beavers can be a wonderful part of the environment within which they live. Thank you to everyone. We also had some other amazing projects and volunteer days. We had the fall plant sale and the spring plant sale. Almost all of that work is done by volunteers. It's tremendous and we appreciate it greatly. We would be 100% remiss to not look back on Sue's party that we threw to recognize her tremendous years of contribution to this organization. Kelly and Betty and the Gateway put on an amazing party, and we still feel wonderful love and thanks to you, Sue, for the amazing work you've done for this organization. Now, we have a super fun time here. We get to award the Tom Bullen Award. This award gets given every year to amazing volunteers who go above and beyond for the mission of this organization. Last year, Greg and Michelle Petrosky received this. They're wonderful, amazing humans. This year, drum roll, please. The winner is Jim Carlton. Jim, we have worked with you so much this year. I've loved working with you. You have done a tremendous, amazing amount of work, and we appreciate you so much. We have a award coming to the office. It'll be there soon. One of these times, we will see you here shortly. I'm sure you're here. I'll probably see you tomorrow because it's a Wednesday, and you're here every Wednesday. Jim, I would love it if you had a moment to talk, if you would like.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm shocked. I tell you, there's so many great volunteers. A lot of people deserve this too. I'm shocked. And I tell you, I love this organization. I enjoy working with them. I've got some notes here too, but I didn't know this was coming. But I just wanted to try to make my little corner of the world better. I've learned so much from everybody, from Sue, and everybody in the office is great. And I think the thing I enjoy as much as anything is hanging out with Kyle. He's such a hard worker. I mean, we go out and we're knee deep in mud, and I love every minute of it. It's a great organization. I'm really honored. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. There's so many nice people too that everybody deserves that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jim. You are a fantastic volunteer. We love working with you so much, and we really appreciate all the work you do for us.
Well, thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate it. Really, thank you. Wow.
So, everybody, round of applause for Jim. He truly is fantastic. We have a tremendous amount of amazing volunteers. Jim, quite frankly, is just fantastic. We above and beyond, we can't help say wonderful things about you. So now we're on the fun part, financials. So income. So this year our total income was $263,509.08. 15% of that went to major fundraisers came from major fundraisers. 41% came from donations. 25% came from grants. 7% came from maintenance fees on HOA specifically. Generally, that's where those come from. Those have fee agreements written into those conservation easements. 7% from investment income, and 4% from other, and 1% for services. We are, for everyone that may be interested, we are starting to dip our toe in to do some fee for service land management work. If you have some work you are interested in having done on your property, building management plans, those sorts of things, please reach out. We are starting to do that type of work and helping people to preserve their own properties in that way. This doesn't include the 4,173 volunteer hours, which would be in kind donation. If you counted it as actual cash, would be almost $140,000 worth of money. That's the current national value for that is $33.49 an hour. Expenses. So one note on this, with the transition to me, this will be a much more detailed depiction in our next one of these next year. It was very difficult. I put in a new hour format so we can track hours a little bit better and what they went to, just so everyone knows. This is a very general pie chart. In the future, it'll be a little more succinct on especially what people's hours went to, rather than just billing their hours directly to general admin or program services. So our expenses went to 14% stewardship, a little less than 1% to acquisition. A lot of our acquisition work was literally my hours and Sue's hours and those kind of hours. It wasn't the actual on the ground costs of getting assessments and those sorts of things. General admin was 29%, program services was 36%, fundraising was 21%, and grant expenses was a little less than 1%. So I would say there's probably more of those dollars got put into program services that probably would actually, if hours were easily calculated for the split in the year, probably were actually towards stewardship and those sorts of things. But this is a general pretty good breakup of how our dollars were spent for the year. We got another poll. That's
Yes,
a pretty bird.
yes, it is. And it's the last poll. So I will launch it now. And the question is, name the small bird from the cardinal family photographed by volunteer photographer Teresa Ray in March 2024. And you may also need to hover over the window and scroll or expand the window to see the four choices. While we give a few more seconds, I'll mention Teresa Ray. She's a wonderful volunteer photographer who's provided a lot of amazing wildlife photography to us that we use often in all of our communication and social media. Okay, the responses are slowing down, so I'm going to end the poll and share results. And the correct answer is indigo bunting. So most people got that correct, and that is very impressive. Um, I will admit I had no idea what this bird was, but I know we have a lot of birders in the group, and it's always really impressive to hear how much knowledge they have on the local wildlife. So good job, everybody.
Thank you all. That's definitely an indigo bunting. Super awesome bird. One thing, we will be also giving away one of our calendars from the donor drive, recurring donor drive, and a $50 gift certificate for the plant sale for one lucky winner. Anastasia will do a random number generator here shortly when we get towards the end and actually draw a winner for that. Spring plant sale will be Saturday, May 31st from 10 to 4. We're really excited about it. Looking forward to seeing everybody out there. Stay up to date with the MailChimp on our website. Please go to the website, sign up, take a look at the website. Dana has done tremendous work updating the website and keeping a running tab of awesome blogs posts written by everybody from Kyle to Anastasia's really been writing a lot of blog posts on everything from the headwaters to the actual streams within our region. You can see right here the Flint River watershed. That's a really good article she wrote. It's fantastic. So, statement from me. So, for the next year, we have some really big goals, and everything from obviously continuing to do the work that we've been doing. I feel like we have built a really strong foundation in the office, in the community, and we can really start and financially so that we can now start really getting to the brass tacks of the work we do. Um, Here's a few goals for the next year that are like overarching goals. We want to complete 2 acquisitions of properties in the pipeline. We have a couple of that are nearing quickly. Um, Increase our acquisition fund to speed timelines of acquisition and take advantage of opportunity. We don't have a very big acquisition fund. And the fact of the matter is, as a land conservancy, the most important thing we do is to protect land, and that, especially in Southeast Michigan, takes money. It takes a lot of dollars to do that. And working with partnerships is definitely an option and something that we do. But it does take trying to build up our acquisition fund through multiple avenues so that we can have dollars setting aside when opportunities arise, we're able to then jump on those and protect those properties. We're gonna definitely increase communication and outreach to the community to show the benefits of what we do, that their properties can be protected in perpetuity. As we're reaching out into our larger service area, reaching out towards Fenton, out towards 23, all of those places, we really need to be speaking to the new service area, the rest of the surface area, about how we can protect property and how that can perpetuity of protection for their spaces and their land is really important, and how they can work with us to get that done. Another like on the ground really big thing that's happening is on fee for service, on the fee owned properties. We have the funds set aside on all of them for actual signage, so that there'll be nice signs put up in place. There's one in the office now that is for Nor across the street from the office, but we are going to really we have the dollars for each of the places from Voorhees, Beardsley to Kimball to a few others, where we have the dollar set aside in their funds for actual signage so people can see the organization out in the public and be able to find these places so they can go for a walk, right? Like Voorhees, Beardsley, Kimball, they are wonderful, beautiful places, but they can be a bit hard to find because there isn't signage. So we'll be updating and working on that this year. I also want to thank, I almost got past it. Before I get into the other part of it, I do want to thank the Stewardship Committee, Laura and Sue, the co-chairs, Lisa, Austin, Mary Blanchard, Ken Bates, Jim Carlton, Denise DeKluber, Kathleen Doherty, Emily Duthan, Jean Gramlich, Deanna Hunter, Maura Young, Andrew Keeb, Gisela King, Rick McConchy, sorry I said that wrong, Nancy Rada, Rick Rotramel, Claire Schauziner, Bev Steffens, Lynn Swanson, and Caitlin Valier. I just wanted to say thank you to them real quick because, and I happened to miss doing that when I was earlier. There's a lot of words going on in my brain right now, so that happens. But they did tremendous work working with Kyle, building out management plans, all of those sorts of things on all of our properties. So we have some big goals for this year as far as completing acquisitions, building up our acquisition fund, increasing communications, and building signage. Okay, I would be remiss if I did not mention the sort of trying funding times this world is in right now. There's, for the last 100 years since the Soil Conservation Act, the federal government has sort of been a funding partner for private land conservation. It just has. And for the foreseeable future, that just is not going to be the case. I'm not here to argue whether that is a good thing or a bad thing. It's just something that we have to deal with. It's not our purview to judge it. There are lots of organizations that are doing that right now. We are in a place where we just have to deal with it and fight through the funding issues it may create. And it's my responsibility to recognize the environment we're living in there. And in this uncertainty nationally, our organizations like us, we have to be the bulwark of protecting the land, water, and wildlife in our communities. If the federal government is leaving it to us, we have to do it. We have to protect our properties. We have to protect the land within our communities. And organizations like us, we are that bulwark. And that is why I'm here. That is why I took this job, is to protect the land in my communities. And I want to work with all of you to do that. And I say thank you for all of this, and thank you for working with me. And I look forward to working with all of you in the future as we move forward. Does anybody have any questions? Somebody has to have some questions.
Yes. Hi.
Hi, Greg, how are you?
Good. I'm in Pasadena, California, and grew up around the Drayton Plains Nature Center. I was wondering if you have a map that shows the area of Michigan of the lands that are blue herons protected now. Is that a shareable map?
I don't have it in my deal here. It is in for some reason I did not include one in my slideshow. I should have. You should have received a annual report in your email for signing up,
Right, I've
and
got that.
there is a actual service area map in there. We're working on sort of tightening it up a little bit, so it's a little easier to read in general. So we're working on updating that on our website.
Thanks. Is your plan, were you saying to add some more land this year, that you have two in process?
Yes, we have two conservation easements in process at the moment. So they'll total between the two of them about 65 acres. And the one is adjacent to Camp Wathena, which is around 200 acres. So that particular one will be looking at almost 300 actual consecutive acres of property, sort of building out that area really nicely.
Thank you. I didn't want to bogart the questions, but the spotted turtle is very endangered in that area. I wonder if any of the areas you're protecting contain them.
They may. I know we have some blanding turtles. I'm not
Yeah.
sure about spotted turtles. I see a question from you. You also asked in the notes, what do how do HOA fees relate to blue heron? Um, so some of these we have actually end holdings within a subdivision that are actually owned by the HOA, and we have a conservation easement on those, and written in those is a fee for us maintaining them.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions?
Would it help to raise funds if you found something like an endangered species like the spotted turtle in areas, or would that help you acquire more land in the area? Or
It could help us with some funds, depending. Endangered species, they come with, they're awesome to have, right? But without the federal government doing some funding for such things now you're much more looking at private funders for that.
thank you.
But we did do that for the butterfly preserve, which was the Powashik, which is a critically endangered butterfly. Questions, folks?
I just wanted to say great presentation, Jason.
Lori, there are on the ground projects on our properties. Send me an email because I know you. You can also call me, and you can always call the office and talk to Kyle. We have lots of projects going on at any given point. We have a lot of wonderful Wednesdays. We're doing awesome work on the ground in our area. Is there any way, Anastasia, maybe if you draw who wins the award, wins the calendar and a gift certificate to the plant sale?
Sure. So, do you want me to draw out of the participants who are here now?
Yes.
Okay. One moment.
when I would do these before, when I worked another place, we would always make silly robot noises, and we'd go beep boop, beep boop, boop boop.
Okay, Mike and Vesta.
Mike and Vesta.
That is the name that the generator, the
Okay.
Hi, that's us.
Congratulations.
Hey, Mike, can you email me at Jason at Blue
Yeah,
Heron Headwaters?
I can. I think I can probably reply to the meeting invitation, right?
That would work well too. And then you
Okay.
can we'll get you your calendar and your award. I do want to remind everybody before we go, we are still going on with the recurring donor drive. You get an amazing calendar here. And for any donation over $20 a month, and all of your dollars are matched currently till the end of the month. Does anyone have any more questions? Well, thank you all. And we came in 10 minutes early. I left a little time for questions and apparently didn't need to.
Thank you all for your great work. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you all for your great work in helping us protect land, water, and wildlife in our community.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jason. Nice job.
It
You
was
too,
really good to
Anastasia.
see everybody. Yeah.
And thank you.
Good job.
Bye.